Good morning. Welcome to From the Coffee Shop podcast. My name is Rick Entrop.
I'm Peggy Hurson.
And I'm Scott Clark.
And we are coming to you from the Den Coffeehouse and Cafe in Bothell. And it is January
19th.
2014. And yeah, so
Yay.
it's a pretty neat coffee place.
We survived 19 days into the new year.
I know.
Yeah.
I keep forgetting what day it is because I'm like, oh, it's like the third day of the month, but it's actually really close to the end of January.
Yeah, we've rounded the midsection.
Yep.
This
These
place
places are weird. I actually didn't realize there were like study rooms over there.
I think they have like conference rooms too that you can rent out.
Right on.
Well, and then there's the Bothell UW is just down the
Oh,
street
is it?
too.
Yeah.
So.
And that's Alex Entrop. She's joining us today. I just realized we didn't introduce you at the beginning. I forgot. Sorry.
She's crowd participant.
Conversation terrorist.
It's true. She's like, I'm gonna insert my ideas.
Yeah.
Who am I? You'll never know.
She's here to heckle.
Then run back into the shadows. This place is kind of neat. I like it.
I like it.
Yeah.
Lots
It's
of seating.
Really
Eye candy.
large menu.
Oh yeah,
There's
lots of
painting.
There's
and
paintings
stuff.
behind me. I didn't notice them at all because I can't. I'm just looking out the front windows
Into the fog.
into the fog.
Into the mist.
They have
Oh my
a
gosh.
build your own breakfast sandwich,
Ooh.
which I built mine, but I should not have put cream cheese on.
Why?
Because it gets it's like
Oh,
all
underwear.
in my
Yeah.
bag.
It
You
looks
did
like
sort of look like a hobo for a second.
Nice.
Was it tasty though?
Change. I should have went with the mozzarella cheese probably. It was like
What did you
Yeah.
get? Let's.
it's like either nix the egg or I had a everything bagel with sausage, ham, cucumber, and cream cheese.
Okay.
No egg.
And yeah, well the egg comes on it. So,
Yeah.
Oh, okay. That's a
so
lot.
I should have nixed the egg, I think, or it seemed like kind of halfway between two decent bagel sandwiches.
Oh, okay.
Like either more breakfast or more just sandwich.
Gotcha. And then what did you get, Alex?
Mine was tasty. I had egg, bacon, cheese, and ham.
Okay, so you went
See,
like straight breakfast
Yeah,
sandwich.
that's
Yeah.
exactly what I
Right.
should have done.
And then what did you get, Scott?
I got everything with sausage, egg, mozzarella cheese, tomato, and basil, and
Ooh,
avocado.
yum.
It was
How's that?
It was orgasmic. It was
Right
really
on.
good. It was
Oh,
awesome.
cool.
It looked
You're
like
pretty
I looked like
quiet.
Rick's
I know
beard.
you're just like.
Yeah.
Nice. I got nothing because I'm off carbs, so I had a protein shake before I left.
So are you off like just you will not have them, or do you cheat every now and then? Or?
Yeah, like last weekend at the women's retreat.
Oh, yeah.
I paid for a food package, and so I just was like, you know what, I'm at retreat. I'm gonna just eat what I eat.
Cool.
Because I'm supposed to be off carbs for a year, and that started in November. This is an agreement I made with my boxing coach, where he said, if you agree to do this for a year, I will give you a training thing, and we're gonna do this year of getting in shape thing. And so I agreed to that. And because I'm going at it for a year, like regardless, say I lost all the weight I want to lose and got in the best shape possible by April, I'm still in it for a year. And so I'm trying not to be overly freaking out if there's a couple days where I eat bread. Oh well,
Slow and steady
life
wins the
moves
race.
on. Yeah,
Right.
totally. And I try not to definitely no sugar.
Right.
Bread, rice, but even I went out to Thai food.
Sugar. What's sugar?
Sugar, really bread
Yeah,
is sugar.
like-
It digests into sugar.
Rice
And-
starch.
Yeah, but I'm talking
Glucose or fructose?
sugar.
What about fructose?
That's counts as
White
sugar to me.
white processed sugar.
Anything that goes to glucose in your blood sounds like sugar to me. But I was at a Thai restaurant for lunch on Thursday, and they had a little lunch deal that was like a half scoop of brown rice and a half scoop of pad thai and a big old thing of yummy chicken curry. And I was like, I just ate the brown rice. I was like, it's mostly fiber.
Yeah.
It's half a scoop. No big deal. So I just ate it.
The whole
I'm
idea.
really not rigid at all. And vegetables I
know.
don't count as carbs at all, even though I know vegetables have carbohydrates. So I go hog wild on the veggies.
But they have lots of fiber that goes along
They
with that
do.
carbohydrate.
And yeah, they are low on the glycemic index,
Right.
and so I don't count them.
Are you measuring to see if your body's in ketosis or not? I know they have like little ketone strips that you can get to check that. No? Okay.
Because I'm not even like, I don't have a weight loss goal.
Right.
I know that weight loss is a byproduct of being off of carbs. I have a ability to do boxing workouts goal. And when I stop doing carbs, I seriously like twice as much stuff in the gym. And like last week, on Monday in the gym, I like my coach was like, "Holy cow!" He's like, "Wait a minute, you just did like even stuff like box jumps or like we do these things called jackknives. He'll set a bell and I'll do them at my pace." And he was like, "Your pace was twice as fast as it was last week." And I was like, "Really?"
Nice.
And so then Tuesday when I went in, he threw a whole bunch of stuff at me that I couldn't even do. And I was like, I can't do that. Like, one is they have this thing they call the glass. I call it a dance floor because it's just like slick wood.
Okay.
And you stand on felt pads. And he was like, you put your hand, I was in gloves, so I'm knuckles down, like hands on the ground,
Right.
feet on felt pads, and then you're doing these crisscross things with your feet. And I was like, I don't even think I can just be in push-up position with my feet on felt pads. And he was like, do it. And so I tried, and I could like get one out, and he was like, then one is plenty, but
Right
this is
on.
the next thing. Like, we can't keep
Sure.
doing that because
Right.
you're kicking ass at that. We gotta
Right. Oh, yeah.
move it forward.
Right on.
They call it when you start mixing up like that, there's
Yeah.
muscle confusion. So
Yeah.
you basically, your body doesn't get used to a certain workout and it becomes anaerobic.
The whole
Totally.
concept behind P90X, I
Right.
think, is the 90 days of everything is always different.
Right,
type thing.
totally. And that's a lot of, I mean, usually we do a lot of similar things because it's skill building, but like each individual workout is different. Like we do things in different order
Okay.
and so anyway, so I'm getting a ton better, and it's energy level, and I think it's because I cut carbs, because bread slows you down, and like no bread gives you lots of protein and lots of energy.
Fat's a more efficient energy to burn. And you
Totally.
have plenty of it, too.
Yeah.
So you're not, well, one has plenty of it. So,
One.
right?
What are you trying to
Theoretically.
say? Yeah.
Well,
And I went and bought, but like now after I said I don't have a weight loss goal, I did though go buy new slacks today, or not today, this week, because Penny's was having a sale, and they were 2 sizes smaller than the jeans I'm wearing right now, which barely stay on me.
Right
And I bought
on.
a belt because I'm
Oh,
not
yeah.
ready to invest in jeans, because the only jeans I like are like $80 a pop. So I don't want to buy them in every size. So I'm
Right.
gonna give myself like, when even the belt looks ridiculous, then I'll buy a new pair of jeans.
Right,
And in a
right.
pair that's a little snug, so that I can like. So I've gone through that where I have jeans in my
Right.
closet that are every single size.
Right.
And to me, I'm like, I can only wear one of them at any
Right.
given time.
Yeah.
So that's all this wasted jean money. I don't know, but I'm cheap. I'm the biggest cheapskate, so $80 for anything is like $80.
Right.
Yeah.
I'm gonna be able to wear that every day
Right.
for 2 years.
Right.
I mean, I know
Absolutely.
thrift
Yeah.
stores.
I
There's
hear
a
ya.
Value Village that just opened by my place, and I go there to buy work clothes all the time.
Oh, but
Yeah.
honestly, in jeans in a plus size, I've never bought a pair of jeans at a thrift store.
Well, but
They just don't
theoretically,
exist.
it's going to be a temporary size, though, right?
Yeah.
I mean,
But I mean, I don't think they have size 20 jeans at a thrift
Oh,
store.
I have no idea.
You know?
It's harder to find stuff in plus size. It can be a Value Village. I have a harder time finding stuff in TJ Maxx. And
Usually there's like 2
Ross.
pairs of jeans in my size, and they're both ugly.
Right.
Like, it's hard.
Yeah.
But slacks, I can find slacks at a Ross or a TJ Maxx, or like, because they're just, or JC Penney's. Like, Penny's jeans I won't wear because they look ridiculous. They look granny. But Penny's slacks
jeans.
look nice. I like both pair of slacks I bought. I was like, oh hey, and I got this jacket, and okay. Sorry, Rick. I'm
Oh,
totally
no.
bogarting your
It's
episode.
fine. No.
Okay, so this is my running jacket.
I like
Nobody
it.
on the podcast
It's got
can
the
see
thumb
it.
holes. I like the thumb
I'm
holes.
Yeah,
trying to
there we
like
go.
these more because they're cool. The thing where you put the thumb hole, it drives me nuts.
It's really, it's how the sleeves fit. Are the sleeves a little short? Then it's going to be
No.
a pain in the butt.
They're
But
never
if-
No,
if
they're
they-
extra. I have shorty T-Rex arms too.
Sure, yeah.
So if
well,
I really truly pull them, they
Yeah.
hang 2 inches
Right,
past
right. Where it gets annoying is when it's really small and you feel like your
yeah.
arms
Yeah.
are pulled into
No.
your
Right.
But
torso.
this just kind of bugs me. But I'm trying to get more used to it because it's warmer with
Yeah.
the things on. Then also, the reason I got this jacket was I went to get slacks, got 2 pairs of slacks, $11 a piece because they're both on sale. Penny's is the best right now. And then I saw some yoga pants and I put them on and I was like, oh, these are they're capri length, kind of like they're this fabric, which is sort of like swimsuit fabric almost. It's the wicking stuff, but it's a little thick.
Yeah.
And I was like, these are kind of nice. And I bought them and they were like $11 because everything was on sale. And I took them home and I put them on and I like sat on the couch and I was like, these are like the most comfortable pants I've ever owned.
Nice.
And I basically like didn't want to take them off. And then I went back the next day and bought 2 more
more.
pairs
Right.
and bought the jacket.
Sounds
So now I have
like-
3 pairs of capri length spandex pants.
Cool.
And I wore them. I did go to the gym Friday night and wore the pants. And a boxing gym is just a wall of mirrors, and so you're forced to stare at your own chubbiness. And I was a little bit like, I don't know if I could totally pull these pants off, you know, and I don't even care because they were so freaking comfortable.
But you're doing something.
Yeah.
You're going to a gym. You're going.
Yeah.
So who cares?
I know. I was like, you know what? I'm gonna let my jiggle bits be in spandex, and I'm not gonna worry.
I notice
Some
when
people
I
like
start
that,
actually
too.
when I lose weight, actually I actually get more jiggly.
Yes.
It's
Yes.
stuff
Oh, yeah.
moves more. And I'm like,
Right.
man, I actually
it
feel
gets
more.
mushy and
I'm
floppy.
going
Yeah.
through that right
I totally am too.
now. Yeah. But I do. I think they're called Buffalo jeans, David Benton or something.
Okay.
But I found a pair at TJ Maxx, and they have a little bit of spandex in them. There's a little bit of
that's
like
cool.
flexy
Cute.
stuff.
But they're jeans.
But they're
I
jeans,
like that.
and they're
I
like the
this
most comfortable
tiny,
things.
stretchy
It's like I have like
Awesome.
full range of motion. They're soft, and I don't know. But I think that the make of the fabric had spandex.
Oh, cool, yeah.
So there's a little bit of like
Right.
flexibility.
Yeah,
to it.
I like that, and unless it's, for me, I always, with jeans too, in the store, I try to remind myself when I'm buying pants to buy them a little bit, like where I put them on and go, oh, this is a little bit tight.
Right.
Because
You
every
know that's
time
going to come out of the dryer.
Yes, because every time I get home with a pair
Right.
of jeans that feels perfect in the store, the next day I'm like pulling them up, and the
Right.
spandex jeans are the worst because they fall down like they just get like
Right.
I don't know. I can't get them to stay up, but I'm also like shaped like an ice cream cone, so
Yeah.
like the waist is a wider part than the hips, and so like everything falls down on me. Like I cannot.
You see, I'm a pair.
Oh
So-
yeah, so everything stays up.
Well,
If you get it up over, yeah.
Uh-huh.
Do I mind?
It drives me
I'm
crazy.
the same way. I was born with genetics that my grandfather gave me, so I have no ass,
Oh
and
yeah.
everything falls off.
I'm built identical to my mom. Like every body thing that she has, I have. Like we're built exactly the same. And to me, like it's genetics just says like here's how your body looks. Like maybe a skinnier or fatter version of it, but that's how you look. And so like I don't beat myself up about it too much. But my mom has like no butt, like thin legs, ankles like bird ankles, and just like a big round middle.
On the top,
Me
I'm
and
a
Mom.
human, and below, I'm a chicken.
Nice. Yeah. I have great legs too. That's the thing when I pick a dress, I always pick like
jealous.
short legs and short what do you call it? The shows leg
Right.
because
Like-
I have
you
nice
do
ankles.
have nice
Yeah.
legs.
Good
Totally.
gams, sport your gams.
Yep, sporting the game. And like right now, my calves are like veiny and ripped.
Oh,
It's
Oh,
awesome.
Right.
I know
Like the
my.
veins
They're
pop
epic.
out.
When I work out, like I have like
You like that?
monster calves. Well, it makes me feel good because I'm trying to be like ripped, you know.
Right on.
Like my coach is the most inappropriate person ever. Like one day, I shouldn't even tell this story, but because it's terrible. But
Tell it.
I was doing jumping jacks, and he's just sitting there, and he's like, "So you're gonna have like really, really weird skin. And I was like, what? And he's like, when you lose weight, what are you gonna do? And I was like, who asks another person that? And then he's like, I'm being serious. Like, you're gonna look really weird.
I just I'm gonna have a wallet made.
Right? I'm gonna donate my skin for people, you know?
I'll just use it as a belt.
Oh my gosh, I was like, seriously, I'm not even worried about that. Like, don't. And
He's a surgeon as well?
No, he just was like looking at me going, you're gonna look
Cosmetic
super
surgeon?
weird. And I was like, okay. And then he was like, and you know, I mean, you're
Not
gonna
if you
be
do it-
really
if you-
muscly. And
if
I was
you-
like, good, that's the whole point.
Right.
I'm gonna be ripped.
Now, I think if you starved yourself, and you know, like if you like people that get the bypass
Right.
surgery or whatever.
Yeah, and then you have like saggy skin.
Yeah, but if you
Look
do
like
it
that.
nice and gradual and just let the muscle sort of take what it needs, then I don't think you'll look
It'll
as
be
good.
better. I mean, I like the way I'm built, which is a lot of stomach heavy. I could see myself still having a lot of stomach skin, but who cares? Like,
Yeah,
really?
you're getting into
It's
shape.
how- yeah,
it's
So
how
what
you
if you look
feel
like a
and how you're
deflated
gonna-
balloon?
I know.
Yeah, and give it like 5 years, you'll look fine.
It
Yeah,
will, yeah. 'Cause
yeah,
The
it'll-
skin's very elastic.
Yeah,
It will,
totally.
It will. You'll have some pain
Yeah.
because I know people
Cocoa
who
butter.
have,
Cocoa butter.
but
That's what
you
they
know
suggest for
what?
pregnant women.
Yeah.
If you got good insurance, you can get
Yeah,
it.
you can have it tucked or whatever.
Yeah.
And I have a friend who she lost like 80 or 90 pounds in high school, weirdly enough. She was like a really fat kid. And then when she hit high school, she lost like a ton of weight. And her skin was so fun because even like the part on your forearm,
Right.
you could grab like a handful of it. And like pull it. It was crazy because her skin was like so like it looked fine normally, but if you wanted to stretch it, it was like it was really funny. And I used to do it to her cheeks because you could get like a whole like you could like get
human
it.
silly butter.
It was
kind of
cool.
thing.
It felt just
Like
like
Plastic
really
Man.
weird.
Indeed,
It was awesome.
There was a time that I was as high as 18, and I lost like after high school, I lost like 70, 80 pounds.
Yeah.
But I don't remember having all that skin.
Well, you were
that.
young, and
And
you
maybe
probably
you
snap
wouldn't.
right back.
I mean,
It's
I think
an
it
age
depends on your
thing
shape.
too.
Yeah. I had
And
a
how
friend.
long you been that?
Yeah, that's true. And I've been fat my whole life, so I feel like if I did lose a significant amount of weight, I'd have a lot of skin.
Right. Oh,
But
yeah.
like my friend, I have a friend who got gastric bypass surgery, and she's like a 600-pound Tongan, and she was talking about like what her plan was when she lost weight because like her doctor was like, oh yeah, this is like it's going to be some serious skin, but she said that the statistics are it varies. Like people,
Right.
there are people her size who like 20% of them don't need surgery when they lose weight, which to me I'm like, even at a 600 pound, if you lose 300 pounds, you're not going to have extra skin. And she's like,
Well, it just depends on how they handle it, how their body
and
does
how,
it.
yeah, totally. Some bodies just adjust, and it's like that's wild to me.
I watch my morning TV, and they have an episode on this morning TV. You know, of all these people losing weight,
Oh yeah.
and they would say, "Look at this, no surgery," and so I think it just
Can
varies.
happen. Yeah, it totally varies.
I think there's a lot of factors. Your age has a lot to do with it. You know, once you reach a certain
Your
age, you're
skin quality.
right.
and
Right.
I'm sure even like your ethnic heritage of like, because skin types are, way different. Like I think I have pretty,
Fair.
like soft, not softer, but like more smushy skin than a lot of people. But I don't know. Because it's really fair, and I don't know. It just seems to me there's a lot of factors. But it's so nothing I would ever worry about. And he has asked me about it like 3 times, and I'm like,
Yeah, how's
I'm
this
like-
going to affect your modeling career?
I know. I'm like,
It's
well,
like-
maybe I should lose weight because I'm going to have
Tell them
weird
not to watch
skin.
Silence of the
Yeah.
Lambs so
See,
much.
that's
Yeah.
been my
So weird. I know. You can make a cutout of vagina for yourself. Out there. I should say that.
Would you like to make a Peggy suit? Is that what you're
Peggy
wanting?
suit. He's weird. He's obsessed with me too. Like in a good way, where he's just like he's like he thinks of me as his Frankenstein monster. Like he's like, oh, I can't wait. Like
Are
when
you-
we changed the thing, he was like, he was like, you kept those pictures, right? Because we took before pictures, because he's like,
You're a project.
I'm gonna make a T-shirt with like a before and after, because I'm gonna get you ripped. And I'm like, I'm excited. I'm gonna be like a
He's
crazy
a missionary
monster.
in the religion of health.
Exactly.
Has he helped other plus-size people?
He said he had a guy who was like 260, who's now about 195. But I think, and he tells me he's cool. He tells me he gets it. But I think I was his first plus-size woman. Because when I started with him, I could tell he was a little nervous and freaked out and didn't know what to do with me. But now it's been like 6 months. Just because he was really tentative and didn't know, like he didn't mention my weight until like it had been like 2 months, and he was like trying to give me the like, let's go over your, like when it gets to the end of the month, he'll initiate a conversation about goals, and he'll be like, so here's what I see you as having done in the last month, and like he goes into his little sales pitch, and then he was like, I don't want to be offensive, and I was like, honestly, I don't care. Like, I'm not going to be offended if you bring up my weight. Yeah, totally.
If you're just describing it or talking about it, then that's one thing.
Clinical at that point, yeah.
Right.
Yeah, but if you're, judging it in any way, then it just becomes, then you have one.
Exactly. And he was really weird about it, and I was like, honestly, I don't care. But then now I think he's too comfortable, because he'll say weird stuff to me about, and I'm like, why are you? Stop.
But again, as long as he's not judging.
I know, and he's not. Like, I'm never offended. I'm always just like, I feel like we've gotten to a point where you will say anything you're thinking to me, which I think is really hilarious. But but no, I definitely think he was kind of like, what do I do with this person?
Right.
And now it's been 6 months, and I'm kicking ass.
If it gets too bad, you can always talk about his privates.
I know.
No, we couldn't talk about the boxing thing without at least that coming up. So.
Which now he put the button. There's a T-shirt on the wall that's like, boxing gym T-shirts, $15, and he put the button on the T-shirt.
Awesome. Nice.
And he made it his Facebook page for a while, which I thought was really funny.
That's cool. Your Facebook friends?
Actually, no, because I post stuff about him sometimes, and I would be embarrassed. But I can see because he posts on the boxing page all the time, and I've liked the boxing page.
Cool.
But he's kind of a cutie. I have a weird Stockholm syndrome crush on him.
Yeah, I remember you mentioned it
Every
on
once in a
Facebook.
while, I'm like, oh no,
Is he
my
available?
boxing gym is adorable. No, he has the nicest girlfriend who works at the gym.
Okay.
Well, actually, I don't think she works at the gym. I think she just is there all
They're
the
not
time.
married, though, are they? No?
What?
I would never date.
I'm just teasing.
No, I know. I have a thing though with tall, skinny dudes, because he's tall and skinny.
Hmm.
Tall, skinny dudes are cute, but I would never want to date one, because I would then become the most self-conscious person on earth.
Really?
And that's my own shit, where
It's
I
weird,
like a
though.
big guy. I just like a big guy, and that makes me feel comfortable, because then I don't feel conspicuous, because I'm like, we're both big. That's how I like it. Tall and skinny is cute to look at, but I've had a tall and skinny guy want to date me, and it made me really uncomfortable, and I was like, I can't do it. Like, I can't do it. It brings out all of my insecurity. It just makes me feel crazy.
I like tall, skinny guys too, and dorks. They
I
have
like
to be
dorks,
dorky,
too. Yeah.
clumsy
What about
on
you,
their
Rick? You like tall,
feet.
skinny guys?
No, I
not really
really
into
cared for the
that
tall,
was
skinny
you.
dudes.
Right,
and I was never
Rick was
uncomfortable.
kind of a tall, skinny guy when you met him, though. You remember?
Yeah,
I was never tall nor skinny. I don't know what you're talking
you were
about.
almost a size 30.
Well, for me, you're tall. How tall
Okay, I
are
was
you?
meaty. I mean, I'd never say in my life I've been skinny.
Oh,
You're about
please.
5'9".
You.
About 5'9".
Okay.
When you're 5'2", everybody's tall.
I know.
Well, okay.
You
no,
have
no,
been
over
skinny.
6 foot. If you're gonna say a dude is tall, he's got to be over at least 6 foot.
You're right.
I mean,
you're right.
I work with a guy who's
Probably
6'8".
Yeah. You like chubby girls?
I
Just
don't
kidding.
know. I can ask him.
I dated a guy that was 6'7", and I'm 5'2".
Yeah.
So
I love tall guys. That's crazy.
I told him this every time I talk. You need to sit down every time I talk to him so I can look at him.
I know, totally.
Mm.
No, but you, Rick, you've gone through some skinny periods.
Yes.
And I think you guys
Thinner,
met
but I
in-
wouldn't ever say that I
I know.
was skinny though.
Well, and guys have a different standard for that. To me, like, I look at some pictures of you and I'm like, wow, Rick is super thin.
Right.
Like you were saying when we were talking before the podcast started about, like, your Atkins thing where it just, like, fell off of you.
Yeah, oh yeah.
I remember you and Tom both did the Atkins thing and got
pretty
slim. Yeah, Tom is...
I don't think I've ever gotten as thin as Tom, though.
Tom slimmed down big time, like
he was
almost
doing some weird
creepily.
diets, though.
Oh, was he?
Yeah, but you
It's
can
the
see
crack
more of
diet.
the muscles on you.
It sort of. I was like, oh my gosh, you're like it almost didn't even look like him anymore. It's like when you pinch the sides of the head of a Barbie doll. You know what I mean?
It's all
You're like,
used to be
what?
convex, now he's
Yeah,
concave.
exactly. I'm serious though. Like, he looks weird. I was like, oh,
Yeah,
your head
skinny.
shape is wrong.
Yeah.
It was very weird.
You know, I don't know what it is though, because I mentioned this before. There's a guy I went to school with. He lost 120 pounds.
Yeah, you said that.
But I told him, I said, you need to put something back on because your head is way too
Yeah.
big for your body.
Yeah.
It's the Jonah Hill thing,
it's
where
massive.
he was super fat. He turned the dial way too far to skinny,
Right.
and then kind of turned it up a little bit and was perfect. It was like,
Right.
oh, now you're fine.
Right.
Like, you are no longer like so big that you're the fat guy.
Yeah.
Like
But you're-
Horatio Sands.
Yes,
Yeah.
exactly.
Huh.
Horatio Sands did the same thing,
Yeah.
but because when Horatio was the skinniest he's ever been, he looked
Yeah.
wrong,
Huh.
and then he just put on a tiny bit of weight, and I was like, oh, perfect, now
Carlos
stay right there.
Mencia sort of did that too.
Oh,
I
yeah.
think, speaking
See,
of.
there's a couple
Totally.
of clients that are like that too. One of them is one that we.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and he just looked way too thin, and he's cute. Looks a lot like my husband. He can pass his brother as well, and he got so skinny it didn't look right. He looked
Yeah.
like he was malnourished.
Uh-huh.
Now he came back and he like looks perfect. He gained a little bit of weight, and same. We had another gentleman that lost like 300 pounds, and he was just too thin.
And I always wonder if that is because of our expectations. Because I wonder if like Jonah Hill, if his first movie he ever did was as skinny Jonah Hill,
Right.
I don't think we would have been bothered by it. You know what I mean?
Right.
Yeah,
But
this
because
is what
we
we're used to.
know,
Yeah.
it's like you're no longer in the range that I'm comfortable with.
Yeah.
But like he probably was at a healthy weight and whatever. Which actually I read about because I thought Jonah Hill had lap band,
Oh, yeah.
but he low carved and was like,
That's what does it. I don't know
Yeah.
why. Anyway.
Because you got
Totally.
in super good shape for, what was that, 21 Jump Street?
Yeah, and that was the movie where he like, depending on which scene you were looking at, I was like, oh, he looks weird. Oh, okay, it's okay.
Yeah.
He looks weird.
I heard
Yeah,
they're
but
coming
this
out with
part
another
was-
one of those.
I hope so.
Called
Did you?
22 Jump Street.
Yeah.
Yeah,
22 Jump
I
Street.
thought 21 Jump Street was hilarious.
I did too.
Yeah, great
It was
movie.
really
Good.
funny.
Yeah.
I fell asleep.
Oh, did
so,
you?
Yeah.
Alex?
I know.
Speaking of movies, I saw a really good documentary this week that I wanted to talk
Sure.
about.
Shoot.
If that's okay.
Go for it.
It's called Blackfish.
Huh.
And I was actually listening to the Adam Carolla podcast, and he brought it up, which made me go watch it because there was a lot of controversy about it. And I was like, oh, I didn't realize because I had seen it on the Netflix page because you
Right.
can stream it. And I was like, to me, it just looked like, because it's like an orca whale. And I was like, oh, it's probably just one of those like watching orcas. But it's actually about orcas in captivity
Oh, I
and
heard
them
about that.
attacking people.
Oh,
And
wow.
why they attack people.
It was so good, and like I'm not even kidding. The first 10 minutes, I got a little misty-eyed because they show footage of orcas attacking
Yeah.
like
Huh.
6 different people who are killed, and a couple that aren't killed in the course of the thing. Like you don't see anybody get killed; they cut away at that
Right.
moment, but you're watching the
It's not
whole.
a snuff film,
Right.
I guess, right?
But it's so terrifying and like sad because, and I'm not that into animals. Like I like animals, but I'm not one of those people who's like morally outraged.
Sure, yeah.
But like they have all these whale experts talking about like the emotional life of whales and how
Right.
they're more emotionally similar to humans in their brain structure and how their emotion centers are big and they're social animals and they have these
Aren't
complex
their brains about the same size? I mean, I know
like
proportionally. not.
proportionally.
Yeah, no, not proportionally. They're way
Oh.
small, but
Oh,
but
okay.
about literally the same size.
I don't
or-
know. They didn't
Hmm.
mention that, but they talked about like their social groups and their like they have these really complex societies and like the differences between whales in captivity and whales in the wild. And it makes you want to burn SeaWorld to the ground.
Right.
Because the SeaWorld people, I mean, they show all these, like, the best part was they had whale experts talking about whale lifespan, whale behavior, and then they would cut in things SeaWorld people, like the SeaWorld tour guide talking about orca whales, and the SeaWorld tour guide is like, orcas live to be about 25 years old.
Oh.
And then they have the whale expert go, in the wild, orcas can live up to 110 years
yeah.
old.
Right.
And then the SeaWorld person being like, this is normal orca, like the dorsal collapse, this is what happens. And then the whale expert going, oh, it never happens in the wild, and it happens to almost every male in captivity, and like it makes you like so mad.
Right.
And then you watch people get attacked, and you're like, oh my god.
Well, there's a reason why they're also known as the killer whale.
Right. And
They don't call them killer whales for
I know,
nothing.
Right.
but also the thing they said was 0 instances of whales attacking humans in the wild. You can jump in the water with killer whales in the
Nice.
wild.
Right.
They'll just be like, what's up? And like keep swimming.
Yeah.
Nice.
0. And in captivity, lots.
I would
Because-
freak out
Well, and the
too.
whale experts were like, we think they have a psychosis that happens when they're enclosed,
Sure.
that
Oh,
they
yeah.
go
Who
insane.
knows
And I'm
what
like,
sort of mental, because they've got to navigate the world, right?
Yeah,
so
totally.
they're probably like, their instincts are like, I got to swim for hundreds of miles and
Yeah.
then like this 3-foot thing or whatever.
Yeah,
Totally.
they're imprisoned. They're just like putting
Absolutely.
it's like taking a human and put them in
Or
a
cheetah or something.
Totally.
a 6x6 cell.
I totally recommend it because, like, number one, both the positive and negative footage of the whales is fascinating. Like, the cool parts, you're like watching these beautiful whales, and the scary parts, you're like, holy shit, this is scary. And it's really interesting, and it's short, which is great for a documentary. And I got really emotional, which was weird because animals, I'm like, that sucks for them, but you know, like, this is the
Right.
natural world, and animals die, and that's okay. But this, I actually kind of got pissed off.
Yeah, dying's one thing, but being tortured's
Yeah,
clearly another. You know?
it
I
is.
mean,
Yeah,
Totally.
places like SeaWorld, they get by on the research side of it. They are supposed to be oceanic research and preservation, but they
Right.
exploit
Yeah.
these animals
And
too.
the trainers are just like really good swimmers that they don't, like almost all of the people they interview are SeaWorld trainers. And either SeaWorld trainers or the whale experts. They have like 2 or 3 whale experts. And the SeaWorld trainers were like, I didn't know shit about whales. And my first day they threw me in a wetsuit and were like, here's your whale. And I was like, oh my god, I have to get in a pool with a whale. And they teach them about whales, but in the SeaWorld context where they indoctrinate them to think that they're being humane.
they
when really
teach them
they're
about
not.
prisoners, but they
Right.
don't. Yeah.
Right.
They're like, these people in jail like being in jail.
Yeah.
You're feeding them. They don't have predators. It's this great system. And like, it's really upsetting. I really liked it. I'm smiling. I'm like, it's terrifying. But it's emotionally a documentary. Like, good documentaries, to me, have to have a little bit of humor, a little bit of sad, and like take you on an emotional journey. And it totally did. Like, I was in it the whole time.
I remember they actually had commercials for it on TV. So
Oh, the thing, the documentary.
yeah, because there was that one lady a couple of years ago that was attacked in SeaWorld.
Yeah.
Right,
Passed
right,
away,
yeah.
so-
And she's kind of their poster child for the non-captivity
Yeah.
people because she was like their best swimmer. She was like a championship swimmer who had like did everything right and was like just like snatched and like there was nothing she could have done. So like, because other people had been killed in the past and SeaWorld was like, well, they did this wrong and they did that wrong, and this person, it was like, it was on video and it was like they could not say, she was basically just wrong place, wrong time, and the whale like snatched. It's crazy.
And
There's,
just held
oh
her
my
down.
gosh.
Just
There's one where this guy doesn't die and they show how he got out of it, and it is the most terrifying thing I've ever seen, because the whale grabbed his foot and dragged him down, and then almost brought him back up and brought him down about 5 times, and the guy's perfectly still in the water. He was like perfectly calm, and every time his head pops up, he like grabs some air and then goes right back down, and he just like zenned out, and then as the whale was bringing him up, he like lays on the whale and then the whale just like stays at the top, and he like slowly slides his foot out, and like slowly swims to the edge of the pool, and slowly pulls himself up, and then the second he's clear of the pool, he tries to run away on broken feet because the whale basically crushed his feet, and it's so like, because you see him like in a panic,
right?
and I was like, that guy just like controlled his panic,
right?
It was kind of awesome to watch
Right.
because the second you can tell he's like clear of the whale, he just like breaks out into a total panic.
Right.
It's really hard to watch. Like, it's cool though. Like, anyway, like watching a person like survive something like that is crazy.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Well, what was the camera guy thinking when he was filming it? It's like, oh, this is gonna suck. Don't get a tranquilizer. Hey, no, wait.
This is good footage here.
That's the thing. I don't think they can do anything once because every time.
Or they just have enough cameras that it was just on.
I think everything's just being filmed because it's like they monitor, like the researchers look at the whales and stuff. But I don't think they can do anything once the whale has somebody because they go underwater.
Right.
So I don't even, because if they can, they weren't trying. No one.
Darts can fly underwater, I would think.
Yeah, maybe. But none of the footage does anybody ever try to do anything to the whale. Like basically once the person gets snatched, everyone like backs up and just like waits to see what'll happen.
Just throw them a scuba tank. There you go.
Except there was one time where there's two whales. Or no, there was a whale who grabbed someone, and then the other trainer lets another whale into the thing. And no, it was good because they let a dominant whale in. And the person released the person. And the person, like, they were able to pull him out. And they were talking about how, like, it was sort of like the person was interviewed who was the person who let the other one in. And she was like, I was just like, oh, I wonder if this will work, and did it, and it worked. And it was like, well, it couldn't have gotten any worse because I thought they were going to kill the person.
I
know. But because the dominant whale went in, the other one was like, oh, I better not do anything. Like, I got to be cool and let the person go. Anyway. It was really good. Sorry to spoil the whole thing. Yeah, I told you the entire documentary.
I saw a really cool movie. It wasn't a documentary, but it was The Secret Life of Minnie.
Oh, did you like it?
I love that movie. Yeah,
Cool.
it was
I need
really
to see
good. It was, when they in the previews where they show him imagining himself these unreal things. That was really funny because it would be over the top outrageous, and like there was a part in there where he said he had the Benjamin Button disease.
Oh yeah.
And then slowly watching he's starting to age backwards, and it was funny. But that was all in his head.
Was it kind of a poke at cinema too, a little bit like that, or?
Actually, what I liked about it was the way they filmed it, because it's about Time, or Life magazine.
Oh yeah.
Closing. It's its last.
That's right.
It's its last printed. What do you call issue? And it's shot in that fashion of that really crisp and over the top.
Nice.
Really nice, like just really good camera work.
Cool.
And I don't want to spoil it too much, but it's amazing.
Sure.
Sean Penn's good in it too.
Oh, I didn't know he was in that.
Oh wow.
Yeah, he actually has a really good part in it.
Right on.
Yeah.
I've wanted to see it just because I have to see every Kristen Wiig movie because I'm obsessed with her. So anything she's in, I'm like, oh, I'll go see that.
It was really good. It was yeah. We took my son to see it. He was the one that, he wanted to see it.
Right on.
And so we went to go see it at the $2 theater because I thought it was already there. Well, they advertised it as being on the screen, and it wasn't. We got there and it wasn't there. They whoever manages their website screwed up.
That sucks.
But it was worth it. It was definitely worth full admission.
There's a lot of movies out right now I need to go see.
And it's not your typical Ben Stiller funny movie, correct?
No.
Yeah.
No, it wasn't. It was.
Is it one that you definitely want to catch on the big screen because of the visual?
I would say
element?
yes,
Okay.
because it was. That really crisp, and it's like they have a splash of color, but everything else is like this black and white gray. But it's actually the color of like they go to Iceland and Greenland, and it's with the places where Life magazine makes most of their shots. There was really a lot of contrast, and it was good.
Cool. I'm glad to hear that because I hadn't heard. I don't think I know anybody else who's seen it, and it got really bad. Like, not really bad, but like B- reviews, and so that made me go like, oh, I hope it's good, because it looked good to me. It looked kind of like a family movie in a good way, like, you know, like just kind of like a good sit down and watch a nice like touching story that has some cool visuals and it's some laughs.
He daydreams a little bit, but he actually ends up going on an adventure, so it's really good.
I heard that. He was on Colbert, I think. Ben Stiller was talking about it. It was a really funny interview because, like, Stephen Colbert kept pretending to like not understand the plot of the movie, and Ben kind of like picked up on that, and they had this really funny exchange where it was like, he was like, so I don't understand, and like they just kept going back and forth, and it was just a really funny interview, and he was like, no, but like he then goes out and does some of those things, and then and anyway, it was just really, I don't know how to explain it, but it was really funny the way they were like not understanding each other.
His character plays the opposite, so it's you got Sean Penn and the Walter Mitty. Sean Penn plays this photographer who basically you don't really see till the end of the movie, but he sends this film to Ben Stiller's character, and he's kind of lives vicariously through his photos.
Okay.
And he kind of imagines himself in some
being
of those,
the guy that Sean Penn is, who's out shooting all the cool stuff.
They give that kind of away in the commercials.
Yeah, they do.
He rescues Kristen Wiig at the zoo or something. He comes out as that mountain dude or something.
I thought that was his...
The ice. She moves like a woman.
Yeah.
Was that his daydream?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Well, they kind of alluded that like he was just daydreaming or something. Then like the co-workers would try to like wake him out of it.
That actually plays, it ends fairly fast in the movie. It doesn't actually continue on that heavy in the movie. So it rolls on really fast.
Cool.
Yeah.
Right on. I need to go see that. I also really want to see The Wolf of Wall Street. I'll like it. Alex is making a face at me. My friend. Oh, okay. You're like, you want to see it?
Yeah,
okay.
I had a couple of people say it's kind of like soft porn.
Yeah, but my friend saw it and she was like, it's no. And I was like, why? And she's like, there's like a scene where there's like dudes blowing each other, and I was like, yeah, I'm cool with that. Like, I mean, not that I'm like, and like the 500 F-bombs. I'm like, yeah, I don't mind that either. I'll be fine.
Is it NC-17 or is it still R? Or?
It's R.
I think it's R.
So they allude to a lot of stuff.
Yeah, well, I heard Jonah has a prosthetic wiener in it, though. They made a joke about it on the Golden Globes.
Which is not, you can show that in...
Yeah,
but you can't show... Yeah,
Hangover, that there's a still at the end of someone blowing Galifianakis, so you can see his wiener, but because it's a prosthetic wiener, they were like, yeah, that's okay. As long as it's not real dong, even though it looks like a real dong.
I thought it was real until they said it wasn't.
Yeah.
I said, oh crap, that's porn.
But it's Martin Scorsese, so he can have whatever rating he wants.
Right on.
It'll always be R, but it'll never be.
But
I do want to see it.
Guys at work had downloaded it onto their phones, and they were showing the scene where they were in a restaurant, and it was Jonah Hill and what's the other?
Leonardo DiCaprio.
Yeah, DiCaprio. They're talking about Jonah Hill marrying his cousin.
Oh.
Yeah. He goes, no, but it's not like we were growing up together and she was hot and I had to have her. He's like, I married her so other guys couldn't have her. Like,
weird.
And he's got these fake teeth in. Yeah. Jonah Hill doesn't even look.
Jonah Hill's teeth look crazy.
Yeah.
I don't, in general, don't like Martin Scorsese movies. Like,
Hugo was pretty good.
I really disliked Hugo.
Oh, okay. I liked the visual.
The visuals
stuff.
were cool, and I liked George Méliès, and that was cool, but like, I thought it was really boring. Like, I fell asleep in the middle, and I was like, this for a kid's
drag
movie?
just a little bit, yeah.
What was it?
Boring.
I missed it. What was the movie?
Hugo?
I never saw it.
It's kind of
Scorsese's kids movie. It's supposed to be for kids, but it's really for, I don't know, any
kid. It seemed like if Brazil
that.
was meant for kids or something.
Yeah,
you know,
Is that the one where they had that
animatronic boy?
Okay.
Yeah.
But like, Sacha Baron Cohen was great in that movie. Like his parts, he played this like slapstick, like what do you call those? Like a valet. Or his security guard. Yeah. He had like a uniform. You know, he's like. And those parts were really fun, but it was so long. And that's actually one of my beefs with like half of Scorsese's movies, if you cut an hour out of it, it would be a great movie. But it's
lot
like
of air.
like
Lot
The
of air.
Aviator. It's like an hour and a half of the best movie ever, and then another hour and a half.
Now, was
like,
that with
fuck this
Ewan
movie.
McGregor and Angelina Jolie?
No,
Or-
it's
no.
that's with Leonardo
DiCaprio,
DiCaprio and Kate Blanchett.
Oh, my goodness.
Who won the award for Katharine Hepburn. Who she's a genius in
Right.
that movie, but that movie goes on an hour and a half too long.
Now, is that the one
And it
about
makes
Howard Hughes?
Yeah, Howard Hughes.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
And Casino is like an hour and a half of the greatest movie ever, and then an extra hour and a half. And I
No.
cannot deal with the movie that I'm sitting in the middle of it going like, oh my god, please end. Like,
But didn't she do one with Leonardo DiCaprio and Jack Nicholson?
yeah,
What
that's
was that
The
one?
Departed, which is
That was a good
one of
one.
the best movies ever made.
Yeah, I was
That
gonna say
one
that's
I
a
There's
good
a
movie.
few
Yeah.
movies that he does that are so good that it's like I'll go see anything he makes just in case it's that one that like The
Right.
Departed.
Yeah.
Right, that was-
I gave a person 5 in the middle of Departed who was sitting like off to the side of me. We were both like, oh my gosh, and we were just like,
Right.
it's like this movie is so good,
Right.
like so crazy, and like people were like gasping in the theater, and I was like, this movie is so good.
Yeah, I like that.
And it's fucking long. It's like 3 hours, but you don't even notice.
Notice,
Because
right.
It is
That's
like
the
a
kind of
freight
movie I-
train, and it just goes, and it's so good.
Yes.
So I have to go see his movies because there's just a couple that are like that are like, and
Come
even
on, let it be a good one.
I know, and even if they're not great, they're still better than like
Right.
Guy
average.
Ritchie's like that. for
Guy
me.
Ritchie is like that.
It's like,
When
Lock,
it's
Stock,
good,
Two
it is
Smoking
like-
Barrels is like the epitome of shoot 'em up movies.
Uh-huh.
But then you
Uh-huh.
watch like a couple of his others. And,
What is the one that starts with the
Well,
R?
Snatch is really good.
Rock and Rolla.
It was alright. Yeah, I mean, it's like the same flavor, but it's just doesn't have the meat,
Right.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I was like,
I like Snatch too.
Snatch is
love
good.
Snatch.
Snatch is very
Oh my
good.
gosh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like.
That's
I like
one with
him a
Brad
lot.
Pitt, yeah.
Yeah.
I liked his character. I didn't understand a word he was saying.
Yep.
No, that's
You
the
like
point.
dicks.
Yeah.
You like dicks.
Yeah. Which, by the way, Brad Pitt in
You know,
12 Years
Brad
a
Pitt's
Slave.
50.
Oh, I'm sure.
Yeah.
He looks. I mean, he can look younger, but like I was gonna say, in 12 Years a Slave, he looks 50. Like he's got some wrinkles going, and you know. But if you can deal with 12 Years a Slave, which it is like the single saddest movie I've ever seen in my life.
Yeah.
It was like open weeping in the theater. It was ridiculous. There were like 8 of us in the theater, and at one point, because it's such a quiet movie, you could hear each group like trying not to just openly weep. But Brad Pitt in that movie is so good. Like, he's
I won't
amazing.
see it. I'll see it
it's-
at home.
It is
Yeah,
just someone
right.
punching you in the nuts like 9 times, just like standing there, just like
Kind of like back in the
making
day
you
with
feel
Roots.
worse, huh?
Kind of like back in the
Yeah.
day with Roots.
Oh, totally. Except the difference is like Steve McQueen, the director. Did you guys ever see his other stuff? He did Hunger, about IRA guys in
Steve
prison.
McQueen.
It's black
Yeah.
English Steve McQueen.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
They're not
That guy's dead. I
dead
thought, yeah.
American Steve McQueen.
Uh,
He's such a good director,
Uh-huh.
and there are scenes where it's like something's happening, and then it'll show the main character. I was about to try to pronounce his name, Chiwetel Ejiofor. Chiwetel Ejiofor. I don't know how to say it.
Yeah, that's right.
Yes,
I don't-
exactly.
No idea.
They would just show like a close up on his face for like a really long time of him just mentally processing what's happening, and it's so close, and the acting is so good, and you're like, you can read his mind through his eyes, and you're just like, you basically are just watching him like realize how shitty people are, and it makes you so uncomfortable, and it's like so emotionally intense that like you're just like
you feel the movie.
it's rough. It is so rough. I would say it's like one of the roughest.
Have you seen
movies.
Dancer in the Dark?
Dancer in the Dark? You know, I never have.
You
With,
gotta watch it.
Bjork.
Bjork, Catherine
I've heard it's
Deneuve,
great.
And
I almost watched it once when it was on Netflix streaming for like a brief moment, and I was like, oh, I've never seen this, and then I missed it.
talk
Pretty
about
heart-wrenching.
rip you out.
Yeah, I've heard that. I kind of like
But I like Bjork though, so it's sort of.
I'm not a sad movie person.
Yeah,
I'm more
me
the
either.
happy. I mean,
I have to be in the right mood for it, but like a good, super sad movie is like really good.
So what movie have we already discussed this? That did you cry through that you feel sort of weird about crying for?
I don't think we have, but I've got a good one.
I have two.
Okay.
50 First Dates.
Oh yeah.
Oh, that's a sweet movie.
I know, but for a dude to cry.
I know. and I don't even think I cried, but it is.
Yeah.
Oh no, when he's on the boat at the end and he's like weeping, singing the song. I think I got a little misty. Have you seen it?
Yeah, I've seen it. I don't think I got misty.
Well, oddly enough, though, Wedding Singer, but only because of my own wedding. If I'd have watched that movie, if I'd have watched that movie before I got married, nothing. Whatever.
Oh, okay.
But then
you're like,
after the marriage,
I never cried that movie until I met.
Well, but it just reminded me of wedding, so.
Mine was Addams Family Values, the sequel.
Nice.
I'm not even kidding. When
really?
Wednesday falls in love with the guy from Numbers when he's like 8.
Oh, right.
I was like, they love each other so much. Like, I was like weeping, and I was like, I think
Numbers, is that the same one that was in the Santa Claus?
Yeah, he's
cool.
a Bernard.
Right on. Yep.
Yeah, he's in everything. Like, he's great. I love him.
Yeah, he is. He's
I think that was one of his first movies.
Mine was Casper, the movie.
Hey, that had Christina Ricci in it too.
Nice.
That theme.
Adam Sandler and Christina Ricci.
Christina Ricci. All right, Scott.
You know, I don't have anything I could put on my finger on. Yeah. No, but if I watch like movies with my son and it's happened, there's like a moment in the movie where it's like there's a bonding between father and son. That will get me going too.
Yeah.
But I can't put my finger on because I'm a crier too. I do.
I love crying in movies.
Empire Strikes Back. When Darth Vader and Luke Skywalker got into a fight, and then when Han Solo got into the thing that he.
The carbonite.
I cried.
That's a good one. That's a weird one to cry at.
King Kong, the new one with Jack Black. Yeah, I cried.
People were shitty about that. I actually really dug it. I thought
like
it was
that
good.
movie.
It was really good.
Yeah. Jack Black is one that, like, he does some real
I
interesting
actually
acting.
hated that character. He was really good.
Yeah.
It was. I wanted him to die, but he didn't.
Totally. Have you guys seen his most recent movie, Bernard? It's on Netflix streaming. It's weird because it's like half documentary, half movie. Like it's a real story, and they interview real people from the town, and they talk about this thing that happened, and then they splice it in with an actual movie, which it's Shirley MacLaine and Jack Black, and Jack Black is like her young gentleman suitor who may or may not have murdered her, and so they have real people talking about these people, but then Jack Black and Shirley MacLaine play the actual characters. It's really weird, but I really dug it, and I thought
so it's like a reenactment of an event.
Sort of, but it feels like a mockumentary, but the people who are doing the documentary part of it are real people. So it's a weird mix of, because the stuff they're saying is really funny, so it feels just mockumentary-ish.
Kind of like Kung Pao Enter the Fist, where they literally took an old movie and they overlaid. Have you seen that one?
Yeah, it's really funny.
But in a weird, I mean, not in a
weird way. Yeah.
Okay.
It's good though, and it's weird. Like, it's not a great movie, but Jack Black, he plays like the soft-spoken, probably gay Southern man, and he just like nails it. Like, he's really good. Like, weird, where you're like, maybe he is a psychopath, but then you're like, maybe he just loves this woman. Like, you're not sure. It's really interesting. I liked it, and I love Shirley MacLaine, even though she's nuts. You know that she wrote 2 books. Actually, that were written by her dog, but she was the dog's ghostwriter.
Wow.
Yeah, like it is Shirley MacLaine ghost wrote this book by her dog. Like, she believes that she channeled her dog and wrote 2 books. She's nuts.
Yeah.
Nuts.
Sounds like it.
Nuts. Yeah. But I enjoy her.
Crazy.
She might be just doing that.
That's true.
Crazy all the way to the bank.
If you watch, like, I could never love her more because of the movie Being There with Peter Sellers, where he plays a person who is essentially like developmentally disabled, but people don't realize that, and they think he's this like wise guru, and he keeps just like
sort of Forrest Gumpy sort of thing.
Sorta, only like more so that like he just is saying, like he sometimes just repeats something he heard someone say. Like I don't think he doesn't even know what's going on the whole movie, but people around him are treating him like he keeps becoming more and more like prominent, and he's this. And there's a scene with Shirley MacLaine is like trying to seduce him, and he's just saying weird shit to her, and she's taking it as this sexual thing that is like the funniest. She's so genius in that movie. It's so good. It's actually like one of my all-time favorite movies. It totally stands up. It was like early 70s.
Cool.
Totally stands up to the test of time. Like you watch it and it could have been made now and it would be
I like those movies that are basically, they don't look dated,
Yeah.
but they look period correct.
Right.
Yeah. But it could, like, it feels like it could
a
have
Forrest
just...
Gumpy kind of thing.
You know, that's the way. That's how I describe The Secret Life of Walter Mitty. It's more of a realistic style of Forrest Gump.
Okay.
Yeah. Well, some of the critiques that I've heard, the next Forrest Gump.
Right on. I love the movie.
It's a little bit more
Forrest Gump.
believable.
So sort of like a Forrest Gumpy kind of thing.
Yeah, Forrest Gumpy kind of stuff.
Gumpy.
I speaking of seeing stuff, I saw a really cool play Friday night.
Oh, yeah.
And it's called
Wake
Up
and
and Sing.
He already told me.
Right.
Like, I remember.
And it was
wake
done.
Up and
It was
sing, right?
Yeah,
kind
wake
of
up and
kind of sound like
Yeah.
you sounded. Wake up insane. Like,
Wake
and
up
sing.
insane.
insane. Okay, yeah.
So it's on a stage, and the only thing that's on the stage is chairs and the things that music holders,
Music stands.
music stands, yeah, those things, and the things that musicians use when they put their
You know the thing? It's almost like a stand for music.
and they talk. There's no microphones or anything, no props, just
Okay.
dressed.
Nice.
They're just dressed in 30s garb.
Okay.
And it's about this family, a Jewish family in the Bronx,
Huh.
and it takes place over a couple days, and it's just about their life. You know, it's the social order in the house. In the 30s, you had the grandfather who lived there, and you had the husband and wife and their 2 children, and then friends that would come in and out. And it was post World War I, pre World War II,
Yeah.
Great Depression stuff. And it was really cool. And they talked in the sing-songy type Bronx talk, and everything was like.
Did they ever sing?
No.
So like an Oliver sort of.
Was it in concert or is that staging? Do you know?
Just what do you mean in concert? What does that mean?
Sometimes people put on plays non-staged,
Right. It's if you
or
close,
was that staging supposed to be there?
I think it
or
was-
it a style?
it
That
was
they
a
were,
style they were doing.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. It was, so if you closed your eyes, you could actually listen to it like it was on a radio.
Like a radio play,
Like
That's
what's
cool.
that? What's the NPR? The This American
Prairie
Life.
Home Companion?
Yeah, that like
Yeah,
that, something like that, but not as campy though.
Okay.
Yeah.
Like the Lake Woebegone.
Yeah.
I love that. Oh, that's really cool.
And there was a little bit of like they would have the radio playing. That was about the only prop that they would have, like if they put on a record or something.
Sounds great.
Were they
I
full
think I would
costumed
like
though?
that.
Yeah, they were full costume.
Okay.
Where did you see it? What
At the
theater?
Tacoma.
Tacoma. That might as well be Zimbabwe to me.
I know, but it was free.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Is it over now?
Yeah, but you can register online, and they always give out free stuff.
Oh, cool.
Did you like it?
I did.
It sounds cool to
Yeah,
me.
my
Like I
son-
would dig
So
that.
sing,
Wake up.
wake up and
Wake
sing.
up and sing. Yeah.
What is the meaning of that in the play? Does it have an
The
obvious
grandfather was like, it's okay, the parents are trying to get the son to go off, just get a job. You'll be happy with your station in life, making that $16 a week. And the grandfather is like, no, be more than what you are. Be a visionary. And
Okay.
Well,
it's like wake up and sing.
right,
like,
and that's
be
what his
that
thing.
person.
And he ends up.
Okay. I like that.
Well, he ends up going up on the grandfather goes up on the roof and slips, walking the dog, and he dies. Well, he left a note before this happened,
okay.
so and left his insurance, life insurance of $3,000, which is like life-changing money back then,
Yeah.
to his grandson, so he can wake up and sing.
Crazy.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah, it was kind of cool.
Right on.
Yeah.
I've heard the phrase "you don't want to die with the music still in you," kind of thing. So it's
Right.
like don't don't wait to sing. Maybe it's like
Yeah.
hurry up and be who you're gonna be
Let
or
it
something.
out.
It's
Yeah, I
kinda,
like that.
And
There's a play that's coming out next month that I'm going to go see that I just want to give a quick plug for. I believe it's Taproot Theater, but now that I say that out loud, it might be ACT. I'm not sure. My really good friend Gerald Draper, that I went to high school with, but didn't know him in high school, met him at community college. But we were in school together since junior high, and I didn't know him. Isn't that weird? Anyway, he is playing the priest in Doubt.
Okay.
You guys know Doubt?
Yeah.
It was made into a movie with Philip Seymour Hoffman,
Right.
and he won an Academy Award for it. And Meryl Streep played one of the nuns, and Amy Adams played one of the nuns. And it's about a priest who's accused of molesting someone.
Yeah. All right. Yeah, we've seen that one.
Yeah,
Then.
right on.
Yeah.
They're doing the play, and he's playing the main priest.
Okay.
And I'm really excited about it because he's a really fantastic actor, and he's playing a little bit of a spin on it because he looks really young. And he's playing kind of the young, charismatic priest who's going against the order of like kind of the older, more austere priests. And he was telling me about it. It sounds really cool. And he's also in the Book It play this summer that is, have you guys heard or read the book, The Adventures of Cavalier and Clay? It's a really, really good book. It's about these boys in World War II who discover a golem. It has this superhero element, and there's all this Jewish folklore in it. It's an awesome book.
I think I've heard of it, but never. Didn't it make
won
a movie?
a ton of awards.
Yeah.
No, they haven't made a movie though.
No.
But it might have like a graphic novel.
Okay.
I'm not sure. But anyway, they're adapting it into a play and doing it this summer, and he's playing one of the main parts in that too.
Okay.
And he, like, every time he talks about it, he's like, you have to come. It's going to be like the best thing I've ever been in. And I'm like, right on, I'll go.
Sweet.
So anyway, so if you guys, any of our listeners are in Seattle, check out Doubt,
Plug it.
Cavalier and Clay. I'm hoping to have him on the show sometime. He's a little shy. It's funny, actors are weird. He's like, I don't know if I can be on it and talk about acting. It might make me uncomfortable. And I'm like, I don't.
It's
so
a.
I'm trying to warm him up.
Even
to
some
it.
comedians are very shy.
I know.
Roseanne Barr is really shy,
Totally.
and so is Adam Sandler. And
Isn't that funny?
yeah,
Like you're comfortable playing a character, but not like just like being yourself.
Yeah,
It's very
right.
weird.
I can see that happening.
I'm kind of like that. Well, no, I don't know if I'm like that. No, maybe I'm not. I like doing things where I'm playing a really big character. Like if I was going to do stand-up, I wouldn't want to do stand-up as, like a Mark Maron or a, Louis C.K. where I'm talking about my own life.
Right.
I like doing stand-up where I'm a character
Like
who's...
Andrew Dice Clay.
Yeah.
Or the Cable Guy.
Yes.
Or,
yeah.
Exactly.
Okay.
Or
Yeah.
like Fred Armisen, who used to do stand-up dressed as a
Yeah.
Cuban dancer
Right.
with like
Yeah.
congos in front of him, and
Yeah.
that was his stand-up act where he had those
Yeah.
huge sleeves with all the ruffles.
Nice.
I love him. But speaking of Andrew Dice Clay, I know we're over time, but I'm sorry, I have a lot of
It's all right.
things on my mind.
Yeah, it's cool.
I think Andrew Dice Clay is going to have a giant comeback.
Oh,
Because he was just in the movie Blue Jasmine, and he was so good.
Oh, yeah.
I think he's going to have a second life career where he's just
Okay.
acting.
He's been making
Because
a lot of podcast appearances
has.
So
too.
like John
He's so
Travolta
good.
and,
Yes.
and Pulp Fiction?
Yeah.
Okay.
Totally, because he plays like that kind of like New York guy
Oh, yeah.
not caricaturish, but just as a person in Blue Jasmine, and he's so
Okay.
good.
Yeah,
Like,
he's actually a really good actor.
He's captivating. He plays kind of like a guy who wants to do good stuff, but is just kind of like a schmuck
Sure.
and
yeah.
like kind of a loser, but like wants to do good things. And he's just like really, really awesome in that movie. And
Cool.
I think he's about to have this
Sort of like Uncle Buck.
yeah, kind of. Actually, really similar to that. I love that movie.
Yeah.
But I think the next decade, he's going to be in these movies that
Okay,
are like
cool.
Woody Allen movies or Martin
Okay.
Scorsese movies where he's like playing these really cool
Or
characters.
like that guy that was in The Wrestler.
Oh, Mickey
Yeah,
Rourke.
Yeah. Where, kind of
I
You know what? I
love
actually
Wrestler.
cried during that movie. That
Oh,
movie made me
yeah,
cry. 'Cause
yeah.
it was tragic.
I
Sure,
wept
sure.
to the point where my friend Ryan was at the movie with me, and he was like, "Do you need something?" I was like, "Oh!" Like I was
Yeah,
like,
good.
like I was like, it broke me. I'm not even kidding. I was just like a mess. At
It
the
was
end of that
actually
movie.
really. I thought it was.
Yeah.
It was a good movie, but it was
I'm
extremely
Jane
sad.
Yeah, it
Man.
was. It was a tough one.
Yeah.
Speaking of which, Aronofsky, the director of that movie, who also did Black Swan, who also did Requiem for a Dream, who's like one of my favorite directors, is doing. And now that I said that, actually, that made me question myself. If that's not Aronofsky, then I've lumped all those movies together. I'm 99%.
That's why we don't use Google. Let's move on if we're wrong.
But if it is that director, it's definitely the guy who did Black Swan and Requiem for a Dream. I'm pretty sure it's Russell. Anyway, this year he's doing Noah's Ark, starring Russell Crowe and Jennifer Connelly.
I've heard about that.
Which makes me go, wait, Requiem for a Dream, The Wrestler, Black Swan, Noah's Ark? Like, it's so weird, and I have to see it.
Is it based on the biblical story?
Yeah, it's straight up biblical Noah. And the previews look just epic, beautiful visuals and stuff. Yeah. But those two actors and that director make me go, I think I need to see that just to see.
Yeah, what the heck's going on here?
Dark. Then I'm like, how do you make Noah's Ark a dark story?
Yeah.
Maybe it's not dark. Maybe this is his like biblical
happy story.
Masterpiece or whatever.
Yeah.
But I need to see it because now it intrigues me. Because I was watching the preview going, Bible stories are boring. And then it was like Darren Aronofsky, and I was like, oh. Now I need to see this.
Yeah,
it's
kind
of my jam.
When we went to see the Secret Life meeting, they had a preview for Jesus Christ coming.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
I wonder what happens at the end.
I hope he lives.
Hope they don't spoil it.
I know. When The Passion of the Christ came out, everyone was seeing it, and I was like, I just can't do it. I just can't sit through another Jesus movie because it's like interesting, but like I've just seen so many of them that I'm like,
religious setting is probably
yeah.
Sick of the story.
I basically like want to fall asleep instantly at the beginning of any movie about Jesus.
Jesus the prequels, I think, is what they're doing.
I want to do like a wacky Jesus where he's like wants to go to clown college. He's like, Dad. Joseph's like, Jesus, you heard what
you're not my real dad.
Come on.
I want to go live with my real dad.
Have you guys seen? Speaking of Martin Scorsese, have you guys seen The Last Temptation of Christ?
I saw the South Park recently.
I hated it.
Where they go to get their money back from.
Oh no, that's The Passion. That's
Passion.
that
was
The Last Temptation of Christ.
That's
Martin
different.
Scorsese's.
Okay, right.
That's what's his name?
Willem Dafoe plays Jesus.
Yeah.
I hate every second of it.
The soundtrack is phenomenal, though. I listened to the soundtrack. It's done by.
It's really good.
Peter Gabriel does it.
Yeah. It's totally worth watching, but I hated it.
Yeah.
But it's interesting because it's as though Jesus got to a point where he either had to choose to be crucified or choose to live a normal life, and he chooses a normal life. And so he has kids, and it's really weird, and he kind of like imagines what that would be like and has to make these choices, and I hate it. I wanted to just like throw rocks at the screen and run screaming from the room because I was so bored.
Yeah.
I had to watch it in a film class I took where we watched all of Martin Scorsese's movies, and I was like, this movie blows ass. And my film professor, Francisco, he would always say that we had like Francisco had the exact opposite taste in every movie, where he would be like, man, this is a classic. I'm like, I hate that movie. And so that movie, he was like, you hated that, didn't you? And I was like, oh, it's torture. He's like, that's my single favorite Martin Scorsese movie. And I was like, it's just mind-numbing.
I've never seen it.
It's torture.
I've actually avoided I think pretty much all biblical movies.
Good.
Yeah.
There's a couple though, like Ten Commandments. I gotta say, Charlton Heston, like it is so epic and just classic, and I love that movie.
Moses in that?
And like, what's her face? She plays Cleopatra, and she's so like, or not Cleopatra, Moses' mom. She also plays Cleopatra in the movie Cleopatra, but isn't that the
Taylor? That played?
Oh, maybe not. Maybe I'm just mixing them together in my mind. Yeah, you're probably right.
Well, it is
Pharaoh's Taylor.
Pharaoh's wife.
Yeah.
So
she plays a very Cleopatra-esque character, and she's very fabulous.
I did watch History of the World Part 1. Was that Part 1 or Part 2?
Mel Brooks?
Yeah.
Mel Brooks.
Right on.
That's about as biblical as I got.
Yeah, where he holds up, Moses holds up the 20, drops 10 of them, 10 commandments.
Yeah.
He's got 3 tablets is what he had.
I think the last biblical, and it's not really biblical, is Evan Almighty.
Evan Almighty.
Evan Almighty.
Yeah.
I What?
The new Noah, isn't that a sequel to Evan Almighty?
Maybe.
The new Noah movie.
But I would say my favorite biblical movie is Ten Commandments with Charlton Heston. I just think I've seen it 100 times, and I still, if it's on TV, I'm like.
Wasn't 2012 kind of like a Noah's Ark type of movie? They had 3 of them. They had 3 arcs.
It's terrible.
Well, then there's the Book of Mormon movie. I mean, how do you not watch that one? That was horrible.
Watched it.
So-
I lived it.
Yeah. Did you had your women's retreat
I did.
this last weekend? Did you want to spend another 10 minutes on that, or should
I'll
we?
just briefly mention that
Okay.
it was very fun.
Cool.
And I got wasted.
And you watched
Yeah.
football.
I did not.
You were
I
there.
was in the room while football was on.
Oh, wow.
I did not actually watch any of it, but I like to pretend.
Huh. There you go.
And then I left after we were done eating and went back to my hotel room and got ready because I was hosting the awards ceremony. They had like awards, and I gave away some of them as a drunk starlet.
Oh, how did that go?
Really good.
Yeah.
And actually, the next morning, we have this song. It's called "Sophisticated Lady," and it's
Did
like
you get the gloves?
no, but I wore like 20 bracelets, so
Oh,
they
okay.
came up really high,
There
and
you
I
go.
wore like 10 necklaces,
Okay.
and I had like big
So
crazy
you're like
hair.
Mr. T out there.
Yeah, and like really big heels and a little like messed up makeup. And
Did the Cruella cigarette?
I didn't do a cigarette because I could only hold one thing because I had to hold the
Okay.
award thing. So it was really funny, and like I actually had tucked the thing I had to read in my bra strap, but then I also had cash down my bra. And totally unintentionally, when I went, I pulled out $1 and I was like, oh, oops. And I put it in the other side and then like went for it again and pulled out $1. And it totally read like a bit. And I was like, I lost it. And then I finally
You
found
reach
it.
around, pull out $1.
Did anybody video that? Or
I'm not sure. I'm sure. Somebody must have.
that'd be really fun to see.
But then the next morning, I was waiting in line for the restroom, and this old lady was like, she's like, you were so funny last night. At first, I just thought you were really drunk. And I was like, I thought I was just like wasted stumbling on stage. And she's like, I don't know. And she was like, but then the second award you gave out, you gave it out normally. And I was like, oh, maybe she's not drunk. She's like,
Yeah,
no, it wasn't. It was like 5 o'clock too. Like it wasn't even late. I was like, okay. She's like, I don't
Good
know.
acting skills.
It was so funny because I did this thing where I like couldn't get on stage, and then I like rolled onto the stage. It was ridiculous. I was just making an asshole out of myself. It was really fun.
Awesome.
And then we danced until like 2 a.m. and I did Gangster's Paradise for karaoke.
Oh, nice.
And it was like I mean, my 2 really good friends brought Fireball whiskey, and I had to have like a bottle of wine, and then we went to karaoke, and they're standing there with a bottle of whiskey, and they're like, we're up! And so I got really, really drunk. I barfed the second day I was there. It was a lot of poor choices by Peggy, but the reason I threw up was because I hadn't eaten anything, and I drank like 4 glasses of whiskey. It was just poor decision making.
Glasses of whiskey.
Yeah. Well, like little, like like
Shot.
shots.
Okay.
I mean, we were using the hotel cups, you know, like the water glasses.
Have you had Fireball before, Rick? Have you had it? It's real
yummy.
cinnamon. It's a really.
Yeah, is it like
I think it's-
kind of?
like it.
I think it's yummy.
I like taking hard ciders
I've heard this.
and then pour it in there, and it's
Okay.
like I'd call it angry apple pie.
Nice.
That's what I call it.
It tastes like the Fireball candy.
Yeah.
It just
Wow.
tastes.
It's got a devil on the front of the.
And it sounds ghetto. When our nephew Christopher was telling me about it, and I was like, that sounds terrible. Like, it sounds gross.
Yeah.
But it's sweet in a good way. Like, it's, because I don't like whiskey.
Yeah.
It just tastes like a shot of candy.
Big red gum.
Okay.
Yeah, big red gum.
Okay.
So I can throw it back, and like I was plowed. And then the second night we had a dance party, and it was like I had just hosted the award thing, so I had a lot of adrenaline, and I had like maybe a bottle of wine, and just was like dancing like a crazy person. That's where all those pictures came from.
Oh, yeah.
That was like 1 o'clock in the morning.
I like the effect.
photo strip
Yeah,
thing?
the photo strip. That was really
That
cool.
was a little photo booth. They had this little photo booth set up in the back where you would go and hit the button and it would go pop. pop, and take 4 pictures in a row, and then you go to the website and you can download them in the little photo strip thing. It was really cute with the Women's Forest logo on it.
Nice.
So yeah, it was really fun, and one of those things where I left going like, I'm either the funnest person ever or the biggest asshole ever, because I was just like loud and obnoxious and like made a bunch of new friends.
I think as long as you weren't competing with anybody for that, then you're probably the former.
That's what I worry about, and
like,
I fully
if there's
recognize.
no one else trying to step up to,
be the fun, goofy person. Well, and it's one of those things where, like, I had a friend for a really long time who, because I've always been that person at the party who's loud and dominating the conversation and having fun and being stupid. Really? No, it's true. But I had a friend for a long time who then the next day would be like, everyone was annoyed with you. And I'm like, what? I was having fun. And they're like, no, you were not letting anybody talk and you were kind of being an asshole. And so now I'm like constantly like
aware of it.
And I know that was her shit. Like that didn't have anything to do with
she
me.
was annoyed with you.
She wanted to be more, like, wanted people to pay attention to her more, and I was too big. And so that was her response to me, wishing I would be smaller so she could have some room.
Right. Well, that's
which has nothing to do with me. It's more her shit. But then I would go like, well, I want you to be, like, if me being too loud makes you shy up, that sucks, and I want you to be more. And so then I would respond to that going like, well, I don't want you to feel like that, so I want you to be for your, it just makes me feel weird. And then, so I always the next day go like, oh man, I was a total asshole. And like, then I have that voice that goes like, people think you're a douche. And I'm like, I hope people don't think I'm a douche.
Well, how do you feel about yourself as the whole issue? It's like you can't contract. I mean, it'll run the spectrum. You have 10 people.
I think that I should constantly have a microphone in my hand and a spotlight on me, and that everyone should listen to me 24/7. Because my ego is giant, and so
not does your ego feel about you, it's how do you feel about you?
But my ego is me. I'm part of that. Like egos are not external, and so that to me, like, it helps me check myself because I go, well, I do want other people to talk and want other people. You know what I mean?
Sure.
So then I always just have that, like, I wonder.
But your intent by doing that is not to shut them out. So it's not like, oh, look at all the attention that's on me. Your ego may be feeding that, but your intent is not to be better than everybody there at the party in some way. It's to bring a life or your own sort of personality to that party or to the function.
Right, and then that's me always trying to find that balance of like, did I make other people feel included or not? And then I go, well, like at the dance party, I was dancing like a crazy person, like rolling on the floor and like doing high kicks. But I also like made 3 new friends. Like at the end, in that little group, there were like 3 people at the beginning of the night. I did not know them, and now like one of them rode home with me, and like she's into documentaries, and we're gonna hang out. And I'm like, well, I made friends. Like,
so you could
made those people feel included, so maybe I was okay.
Yeah, you're okay.
Yeah. And then I always kind of have that moment where I'm like, was that me just dancing by myself in the middle of the room trying to get attention, or was that me like making other people have fun? You know,
I'm more the goofy. When it's dancing, I'll dance, but then I like to be goofy with it too.
Yeah.
Depending on the song. But if someone has the spot, I don't mind being in the spotlight. But if someone else can do it, I'm cool just sitting back and laughing with them.
Yeah.
I'm like, you're entertaining me, that's awesome.
Yeah.
But if I'm entertaining somebody, that's awesome too. So I can do any.
Yeah, totally. Well, and it's also one of those things where I had just been on stage, like being the center of attention.
Right.
And then like, so if I'm orchestrating my ideal night, where the next morning I would wake up and go, oh, I was totally cool, I would have been at the dance party, just sat and talked with people instead of dancing and being loud and obnoxious. But that's just my own insecurity of like, I don't want people to think that I need to be the center of attention. Right. Because I don't. Like,
exactly.
I mean, I'm cool letting other people do it if they want to do it.
Right.
Sure.
Absolutely.
But I also don't just sit there and go, like, I'm not going to do anything. I fill space.
Sure.
Anyway.
Yeah. Cool. All right. So you had a fun excursion.
I did.
Then.
It was super fun.
Successful. No one got hurt.
No, I barfed, but that was about it. It was my own fault.
I think it'd be fun to see the football game with the girls. That would have been.
It would have been, but I was I was like, I'm hungover and tired, and I need to go home and get something done. So
Okay.
they had fun.
Right on.
Yeah.
Okay, well, this has been a fun-filled session of
It has been
podcasting.
fun-filled.
So
We laughed,
thanks
we
for
cried.
joining us. Yeah.
I didn't cry. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Well, thanks for joining us. I think we'll wrap up at this point.
Cool.
And this has been From the Coffee Shop Podcast. Check us out on iTunes and YouTube and SoundCloud, and we have a website soon. I actually decided to go, well, I don't know, I've been checking out Weebly. Weebly and Squarespace have been sort of who I've sort of kind of played around with as far
Just the way
as...
Weebly sounds.
Me too.
Well, it's not free, but what they are they're, you don't have to have like Dreamweaver or Java knowledge or anything to create a page, or WordPress or whatever. And then what steered me away from WordPress and not just building it myself with that is that it's all my sites got hacked.
Yeah.
And so it's like I'm not going to keep up on it enough. I want to have something that's just contained in its own thing.
Right.
That I can just go there, upload my pictures, put it where I want, and just have it be done. So anyway,
Great.
Weebly seems like a pretty good way to go for that.
But they don't.
They offer an e-commerce package as part of their pricing. They have like 3 different.
So we could, like, if we were to go merchandise, we could.
Yeah, we could
put a
have
PayPal
a shopping
account.
cart and all that. I think that's like $12 a month for their most expensive one. But the thing is they want you to pay all up front at once for 6 months.
So a year.
Yeah. So you can't go month to month. You just want all the money at once. So
I can see it.
that's the only reason why I'm kind of a little apprehensive about it. Where Squarespace is more like just $8 a month. And they have some pretty good templates. And I mean, really, we just need some pictures and some text. So it's not like rocket science to get going. But should have a website soon. So
That's great.
Okay, I really got to pee.
yeah.
Okay.
All right. So
Thanks for listening.
Thanks for listening. And go pee.
Come on.